Hey guys, welcome to another video. We are talking today about surface area. Now I touched on this a little bit in the Year 8 course. We're going to look at it a bit more in depth today, as well as applying it to some different types of shapes. So not only are we revisiting the surface area of prisms, which we looked at in last year's course, we are also investigating pyramids here. Now, if we remember from the previous video, if you've watched that, if not, it's all good. I'm going to cover most of the stuff here. When we think of surface area, the definition is quite self-explanatory. It's in the name. It is the area of the surfaces of the shape. So the total area of all of the surfaces. Now here, these two shapes, I touched on in the previous video from the previous series that it helps to think of these solids as breaking them down into what we call nets. So breaking them up and seeing, okay, what are the individual surfaces that make up our solid? And we can think of this by cutting our prisms or our pyramids at different points and then unraveling them to show all of the surfaces. We can do this in a number of ways, but a net is a good way to visualize that. Same with this pyramid, right? If we say cut the top pointy bit up here and we unfolded all of the sides, we laid them flat, we would get this type of net thing here. So that is really the only definitional content stuff we need to know. The surface area is the area of all of these surfaces. And we find this by considering all of these surfaces making a 2D net, or just any kind of 2D decomposition of the shape. Because area, we're looking for something on a two-dimensional flat plane. Okay. So let's jump straight into a question here. I'm asked to find the area of all of the surfaces here. And what I'm going to do before I even do any working out, I want to first identify all the surfaces I can find. Now I have this one on the front here, and I have the same one, because this is a rectangular prism, on the back as well. I have a surface on the side here, on the right hand side, and I have a surface on the left hand side. Now this is going to get a little bit messy when I add my final shadings, but I'll redraw this anyway. And I have the bottom surface here and the top surface here. So I've counted all together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 surfaces all up. Now, these surfaces, let's lay them out here. I'm going to try to make this into a flat shape. I'm not going to do the net personally. I like just drawing the surfaces separately, but you can do a net if that helps you. But let's think of all the surfaces I have here. I have two lots of this surface, my front and my back one, with dimensions 2 centimeters and 3 centimeters here. So this here is my front and back, my number 3, my number 4 on my surface, on my prism. So I have another pair, so 2 of the side surface, the left and right. So I have this one here. Once again, it's another rectangle. All of these are rectangles. And that is 2 centimeters by 5 centimeters. And one more set that I have is my top and bottom. So this bigger one here. So that is 5 centimeters by 3 centimeters. Okay, I have all of my surfaces now. So to find the area of these, I just want to individually find this area, and this area. And I have 2 of each of those, so I'm going to multiply by 2. And then I want the total surface area, so I'm adding all of those together. Now, how do we find areas? Well, we just multiply for rectangles the 2 dimensions. So, to show my working out, first of all, I have 2 lots of my first area, 2 by 3. That's this one up here. I have 2 lots of this 2 by 3 surface. To that, I'm going to add 2 lots of my 2 by 5 rectangular surface. And to that, I'm going to add 2 lots of my 3 by 5. 2 lots of my 3 by 5. And that is going to be my total surface area. So, my surface area is going to be, well, 2 times 6. 2 by 3 is 6. And to that, I'm adding 2 times 10. 10 centimeters squared is my other, the area of my second surface. And then I'm adding that to 2 by 15. And what do I wind up with? Well, I'm going to get, let's just show all of the working here. I have my 12 plus 20 plus 30, and I get overall 62 centimeters squared. Because remember, we are finding an area here. So we are working with centimeters squared to the power of 2. So that's our first prism. This should hopefully be roughly revision from what we've done previously. Now let's look at a pyramid this time. So we'll do this here. And I have a poorly drawn pyramid, but hopefully it does enough to just allow you to visualize it. Okay, that's my pyramid. My base of my pyramid has the measurements, let's do this in another unit, 2 meters by 2 meters, and it has a perpendicular height here of 3 meters. Okay, now once again, I want to decompose this into all of its parts. First thing is, I have my base. That stays like so. So I'm going to write that in here. I have my base. If I break up all of my different surfaces, I have my base of 2 meters by 2 meters. And I have 4 lots of my triangular bits that make up the sides of my pyramid. I have, let's do that in another color. I have this one here, 1. I have this second one, 2. I have this third one, 3. And I have this one, 4. That looks really messy, but just to show you how we can count these here. I have the front and back ones, the front and back, that makes 2. And I have the 2 sides, 3 and 4. So I have 4 equal triangles. So when I find my surface area, I'm going to add this to 4 lots of this triangle with a base of 2 meters and a height of 3 meters, a perpendicular height. So these meet at a 90-degree angle. So these are all of my surfaces. To find a surface area, I want to calculate first this area. Then I want to calculate this area. And then add all of these together, noting that I have 4 lots of my triangle here. So my surface area is going to be 2 times 2. That's my square base here. And to that, I'm going to add 4 times, well, what's the area of my triangle? It's half times my base times my height. So it's half times my base length, 2 times my height of 3. And popping this into my calculator, oh well, let's do it the longer way to show my working. I have 4 as the area of my square base. I'm adding that to 4 times 3. Because half times 2 times 3 gives me 3. So that's like saying 4 plus 12. And that gives me 16 meters squared. So when we're finding surface area, we're dealing with the surfaces separately. We're breaking up our shape into all of its different surfaces. I like doing it like this personally, but if it works for you guys, you can draw a net as well. I personally find the nets a little confusing, but if that works for you, that's fantastic. But I'm just trying to give you a couple of different ways you can think of these shapes. But that's how we can find the surface area of prisms and pyramids. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.